we are here to tell you some stories about me basically being a massive douchebag, because Sara's known me for 10 years and it's my 22nd birthday tomorrow. So what better way to commemorate that occasion than to learn a lot of things about me.
This was pretty much like maybe a week or so after Maddie got back from her year in New York.
Yep.
We were like, let's catch up, and we went to Macca's, and Maddie was eating her nuggets, and she was like, hey, did you notice that I'm dressed exactly like Fat Albert today?
I was wearing this exact
Literally. There was this girl.
Yep.
She was a really sweet girl, but she was just hectically dull.
And so annoying.
We didn't want her to be there. So Maddie thought it would be a really good idea if we pretended like we were rehearsing a musical. So out of nowhere, Maddie's just like, okay, pretend we're rehearsing a musical, and gets up and does this like completely impromptu like chorus bit, dancing and like moving around. It was incredible, and then it worked. She was like, oh okay, I'll just catch up with you guys later, and walked off. And I was like, what just happened? I was just really impressed.
That was pretty good.
You may not know this, but Maddie tends to pray to Thor when she plays Monopoly, which...
And it works.
Like, it's weird, but she does win a lot. I don't know if I'm gonna say that's Thor or just like her general Monopoly skill. I don't actually know how you did it. It was incredible. For 4 days, she had avoided doing any camp dishes. Like, not even her own. I don't even know. And then on the last day, everyone was like, okay, this is ridiculous. We know you haven't done the dishes in 4 days. Do all the dishes.
And I was just standing there with my little head torch doing the dishes. Remember in my house public speaking when I made up a quote by Julius Caesar?
Speaking of house athletics, not only did she not participate, but she made them bearable for everyone else, because one year she decided she was hungry and ordered a pizza to come to the athletics like oval
stadium.
And we just sat down, watched other people run, and ate our pizza and Diet Coke. One time she had a really giant thing for this guy who looked exactly like Flip from Spy Kids.
It was a costume for a musical.
You know what, you did have a lot of stuff with cars, but it was always kind of like quite low key. Like, it was never like, you never like did anything that was like so hectic.
Yeah, I never did anything like actually fucked up.
Yeah.
I would just like be very in love with people.
Yeah.
In secret. Ruby went away to England on exchange, but she got a girl to come over here first, and we were enemies.
Yes.
Like hardcore enemies. Like, she wrote in her diary about how much she hated me. She was like, Maddie thinks she can sing but she can't. And I was like, okay. One time in science we were all putting chairs up on the tables and a chair fell on her, and it was like the best part of my day. We were walking past the house boards and there was a photo of Nina there. This was maybe a few years later when she had longer hair. There was a photo of her with her pixie cut. And I was like, hey Nina, how do you get home? Second start of the ride and straight on till morning. And she was so mad.
I feel like I'm not telling many of your good stories, like your stories.
But they're not like the funny ones.
They're not that funny, but like...
Like, I can be a nice person. I do like caring things, but they're just not funny. They're just like, oh.
It was like this one period that we spent sort of listening to inspirational speakers and stuff. And there was this one woman who came, I feel like she was talking about not doing drugs. This occurred on the 1st of September. And the period started, well, it's supposed to start at 11 o'clock, but for some reason they started a bit early at about maybe like 10:56, 10:57.
Yeah.
So this woman's about 3 minutes into her speech when the bell rings and Maddie goes, oh my god! The bell ringing meant it was 11 o'clock. And the Hogwarts Express had just left. And
this is in the middle of like a presentation.
She was just giving a presentation and Maddie had just freaked out and everyone was just like, okay.
I think I would have explained.
No, you do explain.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people were like, oh yeah, like classic
Fair enough,
Maddie. Yeah. Pretty much whatever Maddie did, people were like, oh yeah, Maddie.
Yeah. There's a girl who was on Australian Idol called Ricky Lee. She's on like Dancing with the Stars and stuff now. She came to our school to promote her new single. She was performing in the courtyard. And then we had question time afterwards, and this is when Matt Corby was on Australian Idol. And now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with him now, but in 2007, I was quite the fan of Matt Corby.
It was crazy how much I was obsessed with him.
I loved him so much. And so Ricky Lee was having question time, and I knew that she just visited the Australian Idol house the week before because I'd seen it on the show. And so when it came to question time, and I was just like, is Matt Corby as wonderful in real life? And she was like, yeah, like blah, 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 blah. He seems really put together for a 16-year-old. And I was just like, he turned 17 on Wednesday.
genuinely shocked. Like, I don't think she knew what was happening.
And that's a story of how I terrified Ricky Lee with my knowledge of Matt Corby. And I think that's a good place to leave this for today. Little announcement also at the end of this. I'm gonna be taking January off from making videos because I just need a break. The last year for me has been extremely exhausting, hasn't it, Sarah?
Yes.
So I'm just taking a little break. I'm not having an internet crisis. I'm just having a rest. So I'll see you guys in February. This has been Sarah. This has been me. Oh. It's my birthday tomorrow, January 2nd. So
we should have got some party poppers to pop.
You used like all of those last night. You were like, more, pop, more. I will still be on my blog and on Instagram, but probably not on Twitter or here. Cool. Bye.
Bye.